Welcome to tonight's lesson on types of claims. By the end of this lesson, you should be able to identify the three types of claim, which are fact, value, and policy, and you'll know you're successful when you can accurately identify each type of claim in another piece of writing. You should have out a piece of paper to take notes and your reading packet open to page 58 to take some notes on a piece that we've already looked at. Once you're finished with the video, you need to complete the Google Doc assignment identifying claims of value in the Star Wars article and the criteria used. So let's get started. Typically, we speak of three types of claims: claims of fact, claims of value, and claims of policy. Each type can be used to guide entire arguments, which we would call arguments of fact, arguments of value, and arguments of policy. While it is helpful to separate the three for analysis, in practice it is not always that simple. Indeed, it is quite common for an argument to include more than one type of claim, as you will see in the following examples. Claims of fact. Claims of fact assert that something is true or not true. You can't argue whether Zimbabwe is in Africa or whether restaurants on Main Street serve more customers at breakfast than at lunch. These issues can be resolved and verified. In the first case by checking a map, in the second through observation or by checking sales figures. You can, however, argue that Zimbabwe has an unstable government or that restaurants on Main Street are more popular with older patrons than with younger ones. These statements are arguable. What does unstable mean? What does popular mean? Who is older and who is younger? Arguments of fact often pivot on exactly what is factual. Facts become arguable when they are questioned, when they raise controversy, when they challenge people's beliefs. It is a fact that the Social Security program will go bankrupt by 2025 is a claim that could be developed in an argument of fact. Very often, so-called facts are a matter of interpretation. At other times, new facts call into question older ones. The claim that cell phones increase the incidence of brain tumors, for instance, requires sifting through new facts from medical research and scrutinizing who is carrying out the research, who is supporting it financially, and so on. When you are evaluating or writing an argument of fact, it is important to approach your subject with a healthy skepticism. In the article, Why Investing in Fast Food May Be a Good Thing, Demini makes two claims of fact. The argument in paragraph 3 is guided by the claim of fact that fast food is a way of life. Is it? She supports this claim with sales statistics and information on the growth of this industry. Paragraph 4 is guided by the claim of fact that fast food is a global phenomenon. She supports this claim with an explanation of fast food restaurants opening in nearly every country, and a specific example discussing the changing diet in Greece. We commonly see arguments of fact that challenge stereotypes or social beliefs. For instance, scientist Matthias Mehl and his colleagues published a study about whether women are more talkative than men. They recorded conversations and concluded that the differences are, in fact, very minor. Their findings call into question the stereotype that women are excessively chatty and more talkative than their male counterparts. Mehl's argument of fact reevaluates earlier facts and challenges a social myth. Claims of value. Perhaps the most common type of claim is a claim of value, which argues that something is good or bad, right or wrong, desirable or undesirable. Of course, just like any other claim, a claim of value must be arguable. Claims of value may be personal judgments based on taste, or they may be more objective evaluations based on external criteria. For instance, if you argue that Ryan Gosling is the best leading man in Hollywood, that is simply a matter of taste. The criteria for what is best and what defines a leading man are strictly personal. Another person could argue that while Gosling might be the best looking actor in Hollywood, Robert Downey Jr. is more highly paid and his movies tend to make more money. This is an evaluation based on external criteria, dollars and cents. To develop an argument from claim, you must establish specific criteria or standards and then show to what extent the subject meets your criteria. Amy Demini's argument is largely one of value, as she supports her claim that investing in fast food companies can be a positive thing. The very title of her argument, her essay, suggests a claim of value, why investing in fast food may be a good thing. She develops her argument by explaining the impact that such investing can have on what food choices are available and what the impact of those choices is. Entertainment reviews of movies, television shows, concerts, books are good examples of arguments developed from claims of value. You will be looking at an entertainment review for your follow-up homework as the Google Doc. Claims of policy. Anytime you propose a change, you're making a claim of policy. It might be local, be a group at your school proposes to raise money to contribute to a school in Haiti. You want your parents to let you spend more time with friends on weeknights. Or it might be a bigger issue, such as a proposal for transitioning to alternative energy sources, a change in copyright laws for digital music, a shift in foreign policy, a change in legislature to allow former felons to vote. An argument of policy generally begins with a definition of the problem, a claim of fact, why it is a problem, claim of value, and then explains the change that needs to happen, claim of policy. Also keep in mind that while an argument of policy usually calls for some direct action to take place, it may be a recommendation for a change in attitude or viewpoint. Let's take a look at opening paragraphs of an argument of policy. In this piece, published in 1999 in Newsweek, Anna Quindlen argues for a change in attitude toward the treatment of mental illness. Notice how she combines claim of fact and value to ground her claim of policy. That is, that attitudes toward mental illness must change so that the treatment options become more available. The saddest phrase I've heard in a long time is this one, psychological autopsy. That's what the doctors call it when a kid kills himself and they go back over the plowed ground of his short life and discover all the hidden markers that led to the rope, the blade, the... There's a plague on all our houses, and since it doesn't announce itself with lumps or spots or protest marches, it has gone unremarked in the quiet suburbs and busy city where it has laid waste. The number of suicides and homicides committed by teenagers, most often young men, has exploded in the last 3 decades until it has become commonplace to have black-bordered photographs in yearbooks and murder suspects with acne problems. So we see that the first section, the first sentence, is a claim of value, where she's creating a definition of the problem. Here's what's happening. The second sentence makes a claim of fact. Here's a fact of what has been happening. And everyone searches for reasons and scapegoats and solutions, most often punitive. Yet one solution continues to elude us, and that is ending the ignorance about mental health and moving it from the margins of care and into the mainstream where it belongs. As surely as any vaccine, this would save lives. So here Quindlen has her claim of policy, where she's explaining the change and what needs to happen. Quindlen calls for ending the ignorance about mental health and its care. As she develops her argument, she supports this claim of policy by considering both personal examples and general facts about mental health in America. To arrive at this claim of policy, however, she first makes a claim of value. There's a plague on all our houses. That is, this is a problem deserving of our attention. She then offers a claim of fact that demonstrates the scope of the problem. Teenage suicide and homicide in the last decades have exploded. Granted, all 3 of these claims need to be explained with appropriate evidence, and Quindlen does that in subsequent paragraphs. But at the outset, she establishes claims of value and facts that lay the foundation for the claim of policy that is the main idea of her argument. Hopefully at this point you'll understand a little better what the 3 different types of claims are. You'll now go to the Google Doc questions and using the Star Wars article, Star Wars review on page 62 of your reading packet, answer the questions that are associated with that reading, and then please ask any questions that you might still have. Be ready to identify the 3 types of claims in class tomorrow as we go over another article and talk about the claims. Thank you and have a great night.